But when you were at school,
Everybody ignored me. Like, I didn't talk to anybody. I cried in class every day and nobody said anything. I self-harmed in class almost every day and nobody said anything. I would purge in the bathroom and nobody would say anything. Like, it's incredible what you can get away with at school.
Yeah.
Like, I had a suicide attempt at school. And
so is Skyla.
yeah, so is Skyla.
I was there with you.
Yeah, and I was there with you.
Yeah. You're the first person I told, and I was the first person you told.
Yep.
Yeah, it's I don't know. It's disheartening what little support she had at the school, and I had many meetings, and she had a 504 plan, and so she's going to finish high school at home. She's not going back, and that's what we decided.
School has been the main root of my mental health issues.
Yeah,
pretty much.
It's been a big trigger.
Yeah.
For sure.
Well, maybe not the main root, but I think it was the spark.
Yeah.
I would like to make a statement about the Butte School District. There is just no support at this school system at all, and mental health runs rampant through those, like, I've never been anywhere or heard of anywhere where the mental health is this bad in a town. Like, the amount of, like, suicidal and depressed and, like, self-harming children in this town is just incredible. And, I guess I just feel like it can seem like there's no other hope if, like, where you spend most of your day is just, like, so hopeless. But, like, if you can find anything to get away from that, or even just, like, a good group of friends or a nice teacher, that can help so much. But, like, I guess, I don't know exactly what I'm trying to say, but just, like, don't let the school system suck the life out of you like it did me.
Well, an example of what Thea's talking about is this has been, a year ago, when your freshman year, there was a suicide of one of the high school students, and there's been more since then, but
I think that was my sophomore year.
they brought in tons of counselors to the high school and were there for kids. And I remember, at first I was like, oh, that's great, what a great response. I felt good about that, and I told Thea, and she's like, where were they last week? Where were they that could have prevented what happened? They're late. They're too late. They're too late. They're just reactionary. Where's the structure?
Oh, I would like to say something else. So they have, like, a program where you can go down by the attendance office and talk to counselors, but they don't want you there unless you're suicidal. And if you tell them that you're suicidal, they'll call your parents and recommend that you get hospitalized. Mm-hmm. So there's no real like incentive for you to tell them what's going on. Like, if you come down and you're like, I'm having a panic attack, they'll be like, well, if you're not suicidal, there's nothing we can do about it.
It's a catch-22.
Right.
Because most kids don't want their parents called, and they don't want to have to go straight to a hospital. They need something in the middle.
They need a counselor.
They need support, yeah.
The school nurse is the best support there, honestly.
Yeah,
she is so great.
She's the
best.
best.
You can go there and talk to her, tell her that you're having a panic attack, and she'll just give you a room and give you some space. And, like, why can't the mental health counselors do that?
And, like, she checks up on you.
Yeah.
Like, if you're gone for a while, like, her and I both, we've been in treatment facilities multiple times, and we would leave. We would come back to do something, and she'd be like, hey, love, like, how are you doing? I haven't seen you in forever. How's everything going? Like, and it was such a good feeling to know that somebody I, barely talked to cared enough to check up on me and ask me how I was doing after getting out.
Like, she remembered us.
Yes.
Like, she would remember that we were struggling that day, and, like, she'd ask us how we were doing, and that was amazing.
Yeah.
Like, that felt like the most support that we had in that school.
Mm-hmm.
Correct me if, like, you...
No.
Yeah.
I agree.
She talked to me about how she struggled with an eating disorder when she was younger, and, like, stuff like that, which is really nice to hear that somebody knows what you're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, I don't want to be turned away because I'm not suicidal.
Yeah.
Right.
That's really damaging.
Yeah. I definitely agree with what you were saying, that, and it's not just a school district, it's the town. Like, a year ago, there was this 10-year-old boy, and he hung himself, and I found out about that, like, last week, and, like, this whole family is just, like, I don't know, like, I don't know, I'm sorry. It was just, like, it broke me. I'd never met these people before, and they're like, yeah, my 10-year-old son killed himself. He hung himself, and I was like, your 10-year-old son did that? Like,
I know. How? I know.
That was
It broke my heart too. It was just terrible.
Was like Skyla said that it's the town, and I agree with that to an extent,
yeah.
but I don't dislike this town.
No.
I love this town. I don't think it's as terrible as everybody thinks it is. I think that the teenagers and the kids are the ones struggling with mental health due to their parents' addictions, I feel like, and I think that there should be like Al-Anon meetings and stuff like at schools that are an option and stuff like that. I think that would be really helpful to like intervene, because like even if it's not just the school system is the one in charge of all the young people in this town, and they should be doing something about it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We have found a lot of good help in Butte too.
Mhm.
But,
Yeah, exactly.
I'm sorry, Skylar.
No, you're good. Yeah. It's just like if you have to sit here and say, which one? Am I thinking of a different one? That's really sad.
Right.
Like, that is just heartbreaking, because it's like if there's so many going on.
Exactly.
And they're
That's
happening
true.
so frequently lately. Like, within the past years, like, there's just been so many. And just, like, kids that I've seen around school before, never had a chance to talk to, just never even, like, thought of like that. Like, just, oh, another happy person just walking around. And then, like, months later, everybody's crying at school because they don't know what happened.
And it's not just the successful suicides that are traumatic for
Yeah.
the people at the school. Like,
Yeah.
there are a million times more attempts than there are successful suicides. Like,
Sure.
I know so many people that have attempts all the time. And I think that it's kind of ridiculous that we have to deal with that at this age. Like, talking a friend or a boyfriend down from the brink of suicide multiple times is not something that you should have to deal with before you turn 15.
We have worked extensively with Butte School District number 1 through the Community Action Team. I co-facilitate that committee along with Jim O'Neill, who is the curriculum director of the district. And about 7 years ago, the district was recipient of a 5-year, $2.5 million grant that allowed the district to really set in place workers, employees that are a direct line to students in either crisis or at risk. We've worked for 7 years on this stuff, and I can tell you that the Butte School District has stepped up to the plate with sustainability, because after 5 years that grant ended, and they invested in keeping those employees intact. And so they're the front line to students in regard to their mental health. Prior to the grant being implemented, the district had very little in place for kids at risk or in crisis. And now there's a robust offering for kids who are either at risk for mental health or suicide or in full-blown crisis. So the Community Action Team has been the venue for that collaboration, and I can convey that the district has worked very hard on that and has made a true investment in keeping those employees employed without grant funding.